So welcome back to the second part of the ASA session. In the previous one we looked at harmful ads, but now we're moving on to misleading. So just to remind you, the ASA stands for the Advertising Standards Authority, and they regulate adverts across TV, radio, within print, whether it's as in a magazine, on a billboard, train station ads, bus stop ads, bus posters, whatever it is. That is what they regulate. So it's important that you know who they are, what they do. Remember, we went through the codes of conduct as well. So we're now moving on to misleading, ads that might mislead viewers, audiences, or consumers. So the first one I'm going to start with is this one here, Kellogg's from 2009. Make this a little bit bigger. But looking at this advert, you might not initially think that there's anything misleading about it. Wholesome cookie goodness. It's promoting a trusted brand, Kellogg's, Nutri-Grain, soft oats, oat and chocolate chip. So the problems surrounding this advert, there are quite a few actually. Once you use the word wholesome, retailers initially associate that with something that is healthy, got a lot of fibre in it, and good for children, healthy for children, and something that is quite trusted, along with the brand themselves, Kellogg's. But what they didn't actually tell consumers was the amount of sugar that was within their product. So if I go down and I will find the ruling. So press ads and a poster for the soft oats, and 2 members of the public complained. So if you remember in the previous session, I said that if only one person complains, then by law the ASA have to look into it and they have to investigate. So the ad misleadingly implied that the cookies were a snack beneficial to health, whereas in fact they were high in sugar, fat and saturated fat, and misleadingly implied that the cookies were healthier than they were. When you've got the word here saying wholesome, so Kellogg's advertised the biscuits as wholesome, pointing to the fact that they were a source of fibre, vitamins and iron, but they actually didn't mention at all here that they were anything, mentioning the fact that they were anything to do with high sugar, high fat at all. It's just very much eat me, it's wholesome, and it will be nice and healthy. It doesn't say whether they pulled the ad like it does on every other section, so I don't think this one was particularly pulled. They may have got away with it. The next one here, Cheat Death, POM, that's the company, POM here. The antioxidant power of pomegranate juice. Now, I mean, just looking at the image itself, it's not exactly something that you really want to be promoting. It's very misleading just from the image itself. And they're basically saying, to cheat death, drink this juice. It's pomegranates, it's got antioxidants in it, it's powerful, and you can live a longer life. Now, a lot of problems surrounding that, obviously. I will go through here. So 23 people complained the ad exaggerated the health benefits of the product. So lots of exaggeration, and that is really permitted in advertising. If you remember when we looked at the codes of conduct, under the misleading section, they do say quite strictly you cannot over-exaggerate. You have to state what it is, offering consumers, be very clear with that. And that's partly to do with the Red Bull advert or their campaign. Red Bull gives you wings. It's obviously very misleading to those that thought by drinking it would give them wings, but that's a whole another situation. However, the ASA understood the ad was likely to be understood by to be making a health claim, and they therefore asked to see evidence. They thought that actually the company weren't over-exaggerating as much as the 23 people who complained thought, and that they wanted some more evidence. And they considered that the evidence submitted to support the antioxidant benefits of pomegranate juice concluded that it fell short of actually showing any direct relation. So although there was no intention to mislead or make an objective claim, it was misleading. And they didn't just pull it straight away. So they did do investigations and they did say, okay, give us the facts, give us the graphs. Have people who've taken this got any health benefits from it? If yes, great, show us the evidence. If not, then actually you're misleading your consumers and therefore we will pull the advert, which is what happened. And here they did consult Medicines and Healthcare Regulatory Agency as part of their investigation, who also said it was misleading. This one here, this one always makes me really sad. So this is from Damart, which is the company here that are in charge of what's inside of the envelope. So you may be looking at this thinking, what's wrong with this? Well, this company, the advertising campaign is actually here. So everything that's on the envelope isn't actually printed from a legal firm. It's actually their ad. So they have put here and here, final reminder, attention concerning your customer file of settlement of outstanding items. And it's really quite shocking, especially for older consumers, because as soon as you see final reminder splashed across your envelope, you know you're in trouble, because that is something that companies do, legal companies do, whether it's rent, mortgage. So a lot of banking companies will put final reminder on it. So they were actually really harsh with their advertising campaign. I'll just find you now. I'll read from it directly. So this direct mailing for a catalogue retailer. So this company here have nothing to do with money themselves. They're not a banking firm. They're actually a company that deal with clothing. Slightly misleading. So the direct mailing for a catalogue retailer was found to be misleading and distressing, not because of the content of the mail, but because of the envelope it came in. So nearly 300 people complained about the advert. They complained about the envelope. Inside, you used to get those little catalogues that have clothing items that you can order either through the book or online. That was what was inside, but on the actual surface of the envelope, they put this to shock and scare consumers so that you'd open it up and then you'd be greeted with this catalogue. So really harsh, not very moral, not very ethical. So the customer base, many elderly people, and many of them were upset by the implication that this was a mailing about an unpaid bill. And you can see that it appears to come from the finance director. That was the other thing as well. Here, this is exactly what it would look like if you get a final reminder or a warning from the tax office or from your bank. That's what it looks like. So to get something like this coming through your door is very distressing. Already spoken through what it says here. Additionally, many complaints felt that the envelope was defamatory because it implied that they were in debt and felt embarrassed that their postman and possibly other people had seen it. In its ruling, the ASA considered that the envelope did not make it clear that it was a marketing communication and concluded that it was misleading and distressing, and then they pulled it. So the complaints were upheld and they pulled it. But I've put that one there, even though it says here the ruling is more than 5 years old. It doesn't actually appear on their website. I did put it here because it is one that is quite shocking. Final one within the misleading section is Ribena Tooth Kind. So that was the name of their campaign in 2000. There is only one soft drink accredited by the British Dental Association. So the whole image here is trying to say, this is a toothbrush, so these are the bristles effectively, and they're saying drink Ribena, buy the product, and you will have amazing teeth, because it has actually been accredited by the British Dental Association, that has a lot of respect and is highly regarded. However, that was a lie. Ribena did not get accreditation from the British Dental Association, and drinking their drink does not lead to good, strong and healthy teeth. So they lied about that. Very, very misleading. I'll just find you the final little bit here. In response to the complaints that this ad misleadingly implied the product benefited oral hygiene, the advertisers sent the ASA evidence, and they said that they proved the product contained natural fruit sugars and that it was ordinarily lower than soft drinks, so the fruit acids in soft drinks, and it had been formulated to minimise the impact of acid on dental tissue loss. The advertisers said that they added calcium, which combined with fruit acids helped to reduce the risk of the acid attacking tooth enamel. However, they then said, okay, ASA said, fine, that's what you're telling us, but we need to check with the company that you've decided to accredit. So they then got in touch with the British Dental Association and said, no, that's actually not true at all. And they had their sort of qualifying statement, which wrongly implied Ribena toothkind actively benefited oral health, and the complaints were upheld. So this one, although misleading, also quite dangerous, especially for younger children when your teeth are growing, older people when your teeth are starting to sort of decay a bit, and also for everybody else in between who might be struggling or have lovely teeth but then have this to make them even better and very unhealthy for them. So that is everything concerning the misleading ads. I will look at the final section in a final PowerPoint video, and then you can watch it and make some notes on it. Thank you very much.